What's up, you guys? It's your boy Brandon Waters, aka B Money. This is our class on clinching, little intro to clinching, so you can elbow and knee your boys. Alright, so just for a little intro to clinching, kickboxing and striking tends to come a little bit easier and it's more comfortable for people because you're at a nice distance and it's pretty and it's flashy to look at. Clinch can be a little bit more of a endeavor because you're right in front of each other's face. You got people grabbing you, you're grabbing someone else, they're trying to pummel for position and stuff like that. So at first, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you just have some basics under your belt, it becomes easier and easier every day, okay? One of the first basics I like to go over with people is just the way that you stand. Most times in kickboxing, you're gonna have this nice staggered stance here, right? But once I kind of close distance with Ryan here, I'm gonna get what we call like duck feet a little bit. So I'm keeping my hips under and my head in, and I'm not gonna have my hips out here or my foot back here. Now, I might drop a foot like this right before a strike, but when we're fighting for position and we're pummeling and stuff like that, I really wanna keep my hips in, my hips under, and my feet kind of parallel so that Ryan can't knee me like whenever he wants, essentially, okay? That being said, now that we're here, a couple things that I'm looking for is I really want to keep my head in. In fact, I use my head a lot of times to pin Ryan's head or to push him and to turn him and stuff like that. So I know we're sweaty in class and it's rough and stuff like that, but you don't want to be out here because this is all day. He's going to elbow over the top. There's so much space for him to do whatever he wants. So go ahead and get comfortable with kind of tucking your head in and getting in this nice, like even my tailbone is tucked and my feet are parallel. And then this is just where I'm kind of at in my neutral stance here. This is like I'm moving a little bit of weight around. I might start to turn and stuff like that. But this is where I want to be here. As far as basic kind of hand positions, obviously one of the best places I can be in is a full plum where I'm on the inside of Ryan's arms here and I have my hands behind his head. A good spot to be in is palm to palm here or both hands to the top of his head. My elbows are in and I'm really squeezing his head to my chest. I can do a lot of damage here. I can pull for knees, I can turn him and stuff like that. This is a really, really good spot to be in. A close second or even a tie really is to have head and arm again on the inside. I've heard this called chicken wing or just head and arm position on the inside as well. This is a great spot so I can kind of manipulate, I can open this up for a knee, I can use this to turn. Plus, I have his head, I'm pushing his head into me. I'm pretty safe from his far side elbow, and I'm really safe from this because if he tries to elbow, I literally have a nice lock on this. That being said, when I have a chicken wing position or a head and arm, I don't want to be high up on the shoulder here. That's a pretty common mistake. I really want to be like in that nook of the elbow with my hand kind of wrapped around his tricep here. That way I can push, I can pull, I can lock this down, I can do all kind of stuff here, okay? This really becomes like almost like a steering wheel, which is really nice. I can pull the head and I can push the arm, stuff like that, okay? Maybe the third position from there would be a double bicep control. So instead of head and arm, I kind of have both bicep controls on the inside here, okay? I can lock down here, I can push, I can pull, I can open this up for a knee, I can do all kinds of stuff from here, okay? So those are your basic hand positions. And again, when you have that head and arm or double bicep control, don't try not to be up by the neck or up by the shoulders. You really want to be like in the nook of that elbow, nice and tight. I've always thought about the clinch like really good insurance. Sometimes you're striking, maybe your timing is off that day. Maybe your sparring partners or your opponent that day, maybe they're just having a better day striking. Maybe they're finding their range and their distance and their angles better than you. Sometimes that happens. Anybody that's been to sparring or had a rough day at sparring, sometimes you know. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail, right? But if you can get comfortable in these clinch positions, it's great insurance. Because if you're having a rough day, you can just get past a jab, get past a kick, and find yourself in one of these positions where you're just putting pressure on someone, and you can suffocate and do some damage in the clinch. A couple of good ways to touch your way into the clinch. I'm gonna go jab inside, low, and I'm gonna double that up for a knee up the middle and find my head and arm right away. So right as I enter, I'm already on the inside of his hands. I don't want to enter the clinch on the outside and then have to fight and pummel my way in. If I can, if it's available, right away I'm gonna get on the inside of his arms, get that head and arm position, I'm gonna start to do damage. So one more time, jab inside, knee, and I have this nice head and arm position right off the bat, okay? Something that I like to do a whole lot is I'll knee and then I'll step towards the side that I just kneed. Bang, and I step, and I turn, okay? An important thing here is to kind of keep this frame, okay? So after I've entered the clinch with Ryan, I have this head and arm. I don't want to like go out here and try and move the weight away from my body, right? It's easy to hold a kettlebell here, right? But once it's like out here, it gets real heavy, it gets really difficult. So I want to keep this frame, and I basically am going to hug Ryan's head to my body, keep this frame, and step right past him, okay? If your leg is like basically grazing his leg on the way through, that's good. You don't necessarily want to step way out to the side. I kind of want to step right past him here. Okay, on the other side. Okay, so again, using his head, using his arm kind of as a steering wheel, I'm pulling his head to my back pocket, and I'm pushing this elbow up and stepping right towards it. So I go knee, bang, step right towards it. Okay. I forced him to step, I've brought him to me, and now I have a nice knee loaded up on the other side. Okay. One time, jab inside. Boom, I got my head and arm, knee, step towards it. Now I can knee on the other side, because it's nice and loaded up for power. So I've just shown Ryan my switch knee. Hopefully it landed, hopefully it did some damage, right? But I at least want to put the idea of this knee being dangerous and this knee being scary, okay? So I can, hopefully the next time I throw it, he can react and I can find an elbow over the top, okay? So I just went switch knee. Now I can either hit this knee or I can just high step in, hopefully getting a reaction, bang, and finding the rear elbow over the top. So switch knee, switch knee, fade, bang. Once I hit this elbow, if he's still alive, hopefully I just got a knockout, right? But if I hit this elbow and he's still there, I'm either gonna continue the elbow or I'm gonna lock down this position, okay? Something that's great about the clinch is I've decided to enter the clinch. A lot of times your opponents, your training partners, sometimes it takes them a second or two to kind of switch gears into, oh yeah, I'm clinching now, right? So we can go from like long striking, and then boom, we're in the clinch. It might take them a second, and while they're adjusting, we're doing damage. We're elbowing over the top, we're kneeing under the bottom, we're moving hand positions, we're working, we're turning them, we're sweeping, we're dumping them, okay? So again, I go for my long knee, bang, long knee, elbow over the top, bang. And right away, find my position, whether it's full plumb, whether it's head and arm, bang, I'm doing damage, I'm turning them, boom, I don't want to stand in front of them too long, I'm doing damage, finding elbows, finding knees over the top, and then breaking if I want, or staying in the clinch. Another thing I don't see touched on a whole lot is just how they say punches and bunches. I mean, if you've been to any gym, you hear that, right? Those combinations are going to be higher percentage than just big single shots. The same thing is true in the elbow and knee and the clinch range. Your elbows are going to have a better chance of slipping through if you can throw more than one at a time, okay? So a lot of times I'll touch my way in with the jab, an up elbow, and a cross elbow. Okay. While I'm entering that range, I'm looking at Ryan's guard. Is it wide? Is it very narrow? So the elbows that I throw are going to be dictated by what I see in his guard. The same way as when you're kickboxing, right? Maybe I can find a lane up the middle if his hand drops, I can go over the side, I can find the chin or find the temple or something like that. So the elbow that I throw, it might be up, it might be a little diagonal, it might be over the top, it might be straight up, it might be a spike or something like that. But while I'm entering off of that initial jab, that's really when I'm like eyeballing his guard and his stance and his posture and seeing if I can find an opening instead of just forcing my elbows through his guard. I don't want to waste any energy. I want to take advantage of a nice opportunity and opening. Another thing I don't see touched on a whole lot is striking during a clinch break. You see a lot of videos on how to get into the clinch and what to do once you're there, but there's also that weird transition of when you break from the clinch back into your striking range. Okay, that can be a chaotic moment because you may not even really be able to see your target all that well because you were just head to head with them and just grappling with them on your feet. But if somebody is kind of on the end of your fingertips, then you know that you can strike from there. And then while you're striking, you can kind of find your target and find your rhythm. Okay. In this case, I've already been in the clinch. We've been working for a second, and I've thrown a knee, and I'm just gonna push to break. I go knee, and I just push. Okay. Sometimes I have a nice frame with my hands, or you can just as easily push with the frame from your elbows and your forearms. Okay. Knee, bang. Push. So now is a cool moment because we were just clinching, right? He's still kind of thinking hand position, pummeling, grappling. He's still thinking about elbows and knees. Boom, I just broke that off. I just dug my back foot, framed out, pushed him, and now I can look to do some damage at a longer range, okay? So I'm gonna go jab cross up high, hook to the body, and head kick up high, okay? Call this one the Giles after my original Muay Thai coach. Knee up the middle, bang, use my frame to push. 1, 2, up high, to the body, head kick. Hey, what's up you guys? If y'all like that, make sure you hit like and subscribe, share to your friends.